we will be starting and people will just join us along the way.
All
Hello
right, let's go.
everyone, welcome. All right. Doctor, are we good to start?
Yeah. Would you like me to start now,
Okay.
or do you have an introduction or something you want
I'll,
to share?
I'll just give a brief introduction and then I'll leave the floor open to you. So, hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar on navigating residency in Germany. My name is Maitri Shah and I'm Prasha's PR team, a member of Prasha's PR team, and it is my pleasure to be your host and to welcome you all to another exciting event brought to you by our global student-led organization. Now, before we dive in, let's just do a quick sound check. So, if you can hear me loud and clear, please type yes, and if not, then well, this is awkward. Okay. So I see a few hand raise and thumbs up. So I'm guessing it's a yes. So awesome. Now I know many of you are here because you're considering Germany for your medical residency. And let's be real, figuring out this process can feel like diagnosing a rare disease with only vague patient complaints. It's tricky, but don't worry. Today we're going to break it all down in a way that's practical, engaging, and definitely a little fun. Now, a little about Prasha for the ones who are joining us for the first time. Prasha is a global student-led organization dedicated to empowering medical students and professionals. We have grown to over 10 countries, organizing everything from blood donation camps, awareness campaigns, to research clubs and study groups. Our few recent most collaborations are with Cognitive Sprints, MedTalk Zambia, IMG Unity, Supernova, Red Cross Russia, you name it, and we have collaborated with all of them. And here's some exciting news. We are even launching more chapters in different countries like Jordan, UAE. We've already launched in India. So you can just stay tuned by checking our website or following us on our social media, that is Instagram and Facebook. Now, why this webinar? Germany is one of the most sought after destinations for medical residency. It offers world-class training, structured work hours, and get this, free tuition. I mean, that's a big thing, right? But getting there isn't like a walk in a park. You'll need to navigate German language requirements, paperwork, exams, and a whole lot of patience. That's why we are creating Navigating Residency web series along, and something exciting is this is the fourth session. Our first three covered PLAB, AMC, and USMLE. And if you've missed them, don't worry. You can just find the recordings on our YouTube channel. So before we jump in, I would just want a little bit of interactive sessions. So if you all can just let me know what is the biggest motivation for choosing Germany. Is it the training, the work-life balance, or maybe it's the unlimited pretzel? Anything, just do drop the text in the chat, please. I mean, money is the biggest thing. I mean, so I'm just gonna excuse all of the thinking, and I'm gonna say money. You win for sure, definitely money, and I'm sure it is a good money. So I would just like you all to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Mazin, and a little about him is he's a person who's and he's going to be going to be a guide who's going to help you navigate yourself throughout the entire process. Dr. Mazin is not just a doctor; he's a mentor, a global change maker, and an inspiration to many. He's a graduate of University of Jordan, has published many research books, and has worked extensively with underserved communities. And oh, did I mention he even completed a neurosurgery internship in USA? Beyond his medical work, he has spoken at global conferences, volunteered in international medical missions, and dedicated his time to guiding future doctors towards medical residency and healthcare leadership. So, if there's anyone who can actually help you decode the pathway to residency in Germany, it's definitely him. Dr. Mazin, welcome, and we're so excited to have you. So, now, before further ado, I'm just going to leave the floor open to you. Dr. Mazin, the floor is all yours.
First of all, thank you, Matricia, for an amazing introduction, and thank you for all your speech. My dear colleagues, today I'll be sharing with you some tips, and we're going to go through the steps needed for your road to Germany. So first of all, as you just say, I'm Mazin Al Momani. I'm a MD medical doctor, graduated here from Jordan, and I'll be gladly sharing with you all these steps. So, as a starter, today's agenda is going to focus as the following. First of all, we're going to say about the introduction, our steps needed to residency in Germany, what are the advantages for residency in Germany, and what are the details about the residency in Germany. Then, after that, we're going to jump to the career options after completing medical residency in Germany. What are our options, where we can go, and all of that, and what are the costs before the first salary in Germany. So this journey is going to cost us like some money, and we need to understand where all this money is going to go to. And at the end, we're going to conclude our seminar, and I'm more than welcome to answer all of your questions. So as a beginning, talking about the introduction to medical residency, like all you know that each country has its own residency program that has a distinct criteria and structures that influence the training experiences and outcomes. So we need to understand each country regulation and rules, so we can move toward these rules and regulation without any mistake. So our application doesn't declined, for example, or delayed. So the main objective here of this seminar, of this meeting, as someone who has navigated the residency landscape myself through different countries, and focusing mainly on Germany, and this is my pathway. So I aim today to share the insights that will occupy aspiring residents like yourself with an actionable knowledge. So my goal today is to clarify the residency process in Germany and to address any queries colleagues may have. So we are going to start our seminar today by talking about the steps to residency in Germany. I do admire if you have like a notebook and a pen, so you can take some notes. And if you do have any questions, you can leave it to the end, so we can discuss and answer all your questions. So the first thing first, and the most important thing in the whole process, is learning German language. So this is the key for your residency in Germany. The other things are things that you can manage, that you can do later. But the first thing first is learning German language. And when I say learning German language, I mean that you have to achieve a level of B2. Because if you do so, first of all, like B2 is the minimum required level to book for the FSP exam, and we are going to discuss this later. It's better also to achieve it before traveling to Germany, so you are going to save more time and money, and you are going to start your residency earlier and earlier. So this is the key. And to obtain this certificate language, this is assessed through a recognized language certificate centers such as Goethe and OSD. So these centers, I'm pretty sure that each country do have centers that provide these two international exams. So as I just said before, this is the most important thing in the whole process. So after obtaining your language, you're wondering like, what are the necessary documents for my application? What do I need and all of that? So I have gathered for you the documents that you might be needing for your application, and it's going to be as follow. So to apply for the approbation, what is the approbation? The approbation is the medical license for practicing medicine in Germany. So if you want to practice medicine in Germany and start your medical residency, you should have the approbation. Okay, so the approbation is as a medical graduate from outside Germany, you must gather and submit several essential documents, and these documents need to be translated. Some of them need authentication and must be valid with a certain time frame for certain documents. So to start with these things, you need to first of all have your curriculum, which is from your university. You need to obtain this file from your university, the curriculum and the syllabus of your study. Okay, so regarding your curriculum, it must be translated to German and authenticated from the embassy. This is what I mean, and there's no time restriction. Now, why do I give you these hints? Because I would like you to have a certain plan that some of these documents you can prepare them before finishing your language, because they doesn't have a time frame. Like if you have an extra time in a certain months or something, you can prepare these files earlier and earlier, so you can save yourself more time later when applying to the embassy. So the first thing is your curriculum and syllabus. Regarding the syllabus, it needs only authentication, but doesn't require translation, and there's also no time restriction for it. Regarding your university marks, translation and authentication is required as well, and there's no time restriction for it. And as well as you will be needing the internship completion certificate. As you all know, each country have like a specific number of years for medical student to graduate. Like for example, here in Jordan, we do have 6 years to graduate. Okay, so after that, many countries may require from their students to continue like 1 or 2 years as an internship year for them to be qualified to practice medicine in that country. Okay. So here in Jordan, I have to complete 6 years, for example, and I have to do a seventh year, which is an internship year that is going to guarantee me permanent license to practice medicine in Jordan. Okay, so after finishing this year, I am qualified to apply for Germany. This is for example. Now, what I need from you is that each one of you, maybe some of you in a different countries, and as I saw from the beginning, that we are covering countries like India, Russia, Georgia, UAE, Jordan, maybe Saudi Arabia, and we have also some participants from UK. So each country of these countries has its own system for medical students and medical studies. Okay, so you need to ask yourself when I'll be finishing my internship, so I can apply for Germany. And this also certificate requires translation and authentication with no time restriction. So the fifth thing that I'm talking about here is the permanent medical license, and this one is you are going to get this one after finishing your internship year, and this also needs to be translated and authenticated with no time restriction. After that, there's something we call the letter or a certificate of good standing. This is like a confirmation from your home country medical association that you have no professional misconduct. It must be translated as well, authenticated, and this one should be issued at least 3 months before you apply to the embassy. Just make sure that when you obtain this certificate, that you obtained it within 3 months from your appointment at the embassy, because if it was more than that, it will be refused, and this is going to cost you money and time. And the most important thing here is time. Trust me, when I'm saying time regarding the process to Germany, this is a very sensitive issue, because paperwork in Germany it takes a lot of time, like by default. So if you have something wrong, it's gonna make you like waste extra time, and I guess none of us need that, right? So the other thing that you need to have, of course, the German language certificate. And my advice to you is to have at least B2 level. And if it's already in German, of course, you don't need to translate it. Some authorities says it must be within 1 year. Like if you are preparing, for example, let's just say like you are a fourth year medical student and you still have 2 years to finish your university, and you have another extra 1 year as an internship. All right, so you have still like 3 years extra to finish your like medical studies and be ready to apply to Germany. All right, so you don't have to do the exam at the fourth or fifth year. Just learn German, practice German for all these years, and apply the exam at least 6 months before your appointment with the embassy. So you have an extra time for your certification date or validity. All right. So the other thing that you also need is that the police clearance certificate, and this is a very easy paper that you can acquire from your country. All right, and it also must be issued within 3 to 6 months as well. Just take care of that. And the missing point here, number 4, was the university certificate, and as well as it must be translated and authenticated with no time restriction. All right. So, what are other things that we might need for our documents? We have also the health certificate, which is the Gesundheit. It's a medical examination proving your fitness to work as a doctor, and it must be as well as translated, authenticated, and issued within 1 to 3 months. Just take care of that. And also, I would like to mention regarding this point that in each country, the the Germany embassy, does have certified doctors to the embassy. and you need to do this health certificate or the health exam with one of these doctors. Like, you're not allowed, like for example here in Jordan we do have, like for example, three certified doctors that can do the medical exam for you and provide you with the health certificate that you're going to take to the embassy, and this is acceptable. But if you did this medical exam with other doctor, it won't be accepted. Okay, just make sure of this point. Uh, we have also the employment reference or work certificate. This one, if available, you can provide it. If it's not, you don't have to. Like for example, some of us might be like second or third year residents in their own countries, and they are not a medical student or a fresh graduate, and they are pursuing also a job in Germany. This is very good for them because in Germany the principle is a little bit different, as you are not going to redo the whole residency from the beginning. And if you have a work experience, let's say 2 or 3 years, you will be compensated for that with your salary. Okay, so you have a work experience. This is very good for you, but you need to have a certificate from the institution or the organization that you have worked on, with a proof that you worked in that company. And of course you need to translate it, authenticate it, and then apply it to the embassy. You need to have also, as well as CV, but it should be in German, and it must be up to date, but does not require translation or authentication, since it is already in German. Okay, and I'm going to mention something about the CV now, or and we do have a section for CV. My advice to you is to have a CV which is up to date. Like for example, if you are graduated 3 months ago and you have done nothing in this 3 months till now, for example, but this period is not mentioned in your CV, you are going to be your application is going to be refused, and they will ask you to edit the CV at the end. Okay, so because you need to make sure that all the periods are covered with a very reasonable causes. Okay, and we're going to discuss this later. What other things that you need is that you need a proof of intention. Like some authorities may ask you for proof that you plan to work in Germany, such as like a job offering or motivation letter. But in our case, when you apply to Germany, you are going to have a letter from the state that you applied to in Germany, which emphasize your reason to travel to Germany. So you do have this. You need to, as well as to have a birth certificate that needed to be translated and authenticated and should be recently issued. Now, regarding point 15, name change documents, this is like, in some cases, this is not typical, but if someone has changed his name after marriage, for example, or if he is married or not, because this is gonna different, like this is a different scenario if you're going single to Germany, or if you are planning to go with your partner to Germany. This is gonna be different, because the whole thing is gonna be different. Like the salary, the taxes is gonna be different, and everything. So you have to mention that from the beginning. Okay, and as well as this should be translated and authenticated. And some states in Germany may ask you about the high school certificate, but like for NRV region, they're not going to ask about it. I just leave you with this documents, so you can go through them again, and you can prepare yourself for to apply with these documents. Okay, as well as you need, of course, the copy of passport, which must be authenticated. Now, once all of your documents are prepared, you can submit your documents to get your approbation application to the medical chamber, which is the Erst Kema in the German Federation state where you intended to work. And this is going to be different between us, I guess. Okay, so we have until now covered two steps, which is the language German, the German language, and we also have covered the documents needed for this. Now moving to the third step, which is the FSP exam, which is the Fachsprachprüfung. I just gonna give you some informations about this exam, and if you do have any question, I'm more welcome to answer you. So what is this exam, the FSP exam? It's a medical language exam in Germany, which is required from foreigner doctors to obtain a permanent approbation or temporary which is the Beruf medical license. Now, in Germany, we do have two exams, okay? This one is the first one, which is the FSP exam. The other one that I'm going to mention later is the KB exam, the Kenntnisprüfung, which is the medical knowledge exam, not medical language. This one is the medical language, all right? So some people of us are going to go through the medical knowledge exam, not only the medical language exam, the FSP, and the other of us are going to do only this one that I'm showing you right now, which is the FSP exam, right? So if you are one of the people that are going to or have to do the second exam, which is the medical knowledge exam, so after finishing this one, which is the FSP, you are going to get a license which is not permanent. This is a temporary license for 2 years, right? And this license, you are going to hold it for this period until you have done your KB exam, the Kenntnisprüfung, right? So after finishing the Kenntnisprüfung exam, you will get the Approbation, which is the permanent license to practice medicine in Germany. All right. So now I'm talking here about the FSP exam, which is the Fachsprachprüfung. This exam is conducted by the medical license authority in each German state. Now, who needs to take this exam? All all foreign doctors who did not study medicine in Germany need to do this exam, and there are some exceptions in some states in Germany that those who completed high school in Germany should not go through this. And I'm pretty sure like we don't have such a scenario here in this meeting, I guess. All right. So, is a B2 or C1 language certificate is enough? No. No, this is not enough because the B2 or C1 language certificate does not qualify you for the medical language exam. This is like a general German language certificate, okay? But if you have it, this is very good. This is very nice for you. So it's going to be much easier for you to study this exam and pass it. So no, B2 or C1 certificate proves general German proficiency, but does not replace the FSP. All right. So what about the exam structure? The duration of the exam is less than 1 hour, which contains 4 parts. You are going to do the doctor-patient conversation and history taking, writing the medical history, doctor-doctor discussion, and medical terminology and translation for a specific medical jargons, you know. So this is, I guess, the exam structure is very easy for any of us who has graduated from medical school. Like this is the thing that you have been through during your studies, right? So you need just to talk with the patient, take a history from the patient. You need to write this history in a system or a paper, depends on which state are you applying. There's going to be a doctor-doctor discussion. He's going to ask you about like specific things in medicine, like scenarios and what are you planning to do. It's the same as OSCE, all right? The same as the OSCE exam, but it's much easier, all right? So you don't have to worry about this if you have a good German language. And there's as well as the medical terminology translation. So how many times can you take this exam? Let's say that I have failed this time. So regarding the Fachsprachprüfung, there's unlimited attempts. So you can repeat it as much as you can. But my advice to you is to prepare yourself very much for this exam so you can pass it from the beginning. So you save yourself much time, because this exam is not always available to apply for. Like there's only like 4 appointments in a year. So if you fail, you have your next exam after 3 months. And maybe this is not feasible for some of you. Okay, so my plan for you is to prepare yourself very much for this exam. Regarding the Kenntnisprüfung exam, which is the medical knowledge exam, you have only 3 attempts, and after these 3 attempts, unfortunately, you will be excluded from Germany. So you have only 3 attempts for this exam. If you are one of the people, as I just said before, that have to apply this exam. Now regarding some notes that application can be started from abroad, but the exam must be taken in Germany. This is an exam that you have to do in Germany. It's just like the PLABs with UK. That's PLAB 2. You have to do it in Manchester, for example. This is the only place to do it. Now, this one is the same that you have to do in Germany. you have to be physically present in Germany. Okay, now I'm moving to that fourth step, which is the medical knowledge exam, Kenntnisprüfung. I have mentioned like a few things regarding this exam, but I just need to make sure that you all understand what I have said. So, not this exam is not for everyone. It depends on the country and may also varies between different universities inside the same country. An example for that, like here in Jordan, we have 6, 7 universities, medical schools in Jordan. So my university, medical school in the University of Jordan. So according to our syllabus and curriculum, we don't have to do this exam because we do have the same, almost the same material, like for medical schools in Germany. Okay, but for other medical schools in the same country, in Jordan, they have to go through the Kenntnisprüfung. So this varies, and this is your duty here to check if your university have to go through this exam or not. The best way to check with this is to ask an elder students, or if you have a friends from the same university who have an experience to move to Germany and start their residency over there, to ask them if they have gone through this exam or not, or it was only the FSP exam. Okay, so when you submit your documents that we have talked about, you are going to receive a response, which is going to be like automatic equivalence or partial equivalence, which is a Gleichwertigkeit. Gleich, it means that your curriculum and your documents is the same as the study plan that is here in Germany. So congratulations, you're a Gleich. So you are going to now to book your exam, to book a FSP exam, and that's it. This is perfect, okay? So if your medical degree is fully equivalent to the German system, you may receive a full recognition, approbation, without needing the KB exam. But let me repeat that, you have to go through the FSP exam, okay? Now, if your university is not one of the, or not university, the curriculum of your university is not the equivalent in Germany, so you are going to receive a teilweise Gleichwertigkeit, which is if your degree is not fully equivalent, you will be required to take the Kenntnisprüfung to demonstrate your medical knowledge, and this is the case for most of non-EU countries. But let me make myself clear again. That's like, for example, Jordan is not an EU country, but we still have some universities that doesn't have to go through this exam. So you need to check, even if you are not EU country, you need to check with your university, and I have mentioned how to check before. Okay, all right. So now I have talked about the steps for residency in Germany. The first things that you need to know. Now regarding the advantages of doing your residency in Germany. So what I would like to say is that in Germany, more career opportunities, especially if you are thinking about subspecialties, sub-surgeries, if you are looking about orthopedics, neurosurgery, ENT, ophthalmo, these specialties, like globally, they are very competitive. But in Germany, you still have sometimes you're going to have better chances than your own country, because they lack a lot of doctors, and there is a lack of doctors, and as well as there are many places that need doctors in these specialties. So you have a better chances. This is one of the advantages to secure a residency position. The second thing is that doing your residency in Germany by itself is a path to gain a German citizenship. So, according to the new law, which has been last year, on February last year, so after 3 years of residing in Germany and taking your salary and paying your taxes and all of that with a permanent residence, so you become eligible to apply for a German passport after all of that. So just keep that in mind. As well as in Germany, there's a favorable working hours. So there's a standard working hours, which is 40 hours per week, 8 hours a day. That might get extra, of course, according to the work. And this is the nature of medical work, as you all know, okay? There's as well as 30 plus minus 2 days per year off, and almost 40 days holidays off. Just keep that in mind as well. The strategic location of Germany by itself is very good. So it's centrally located in Europe, almost 3 hours flight to any EU country. It's also close to the Arab countries, to India, Pakistan, Georgia, Asia. So there's an easy travel for family visits. And the most important thing is that the time difference is not really that much, like comparing to the US and whatever. Because like comparing to the US, when I was there, it's like a 12 hours difference. So it's you will feel yourself separated, and the flight tickets are very expensive from there to any place in the world. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing Germany or the US. So flexibility in residency training, the German system is more flexible than any country in the world. And why I'm saying that? Because like if you go and look at the US, at UK, so you have a fixed residency program. Now, if I got accepted at Cooper University Hospital, for example, I'm going to continue my whole residency in the US at the same hospital, okay? And I don't have the option to change my hospital, right? And this goes as well as for UK and whatever. Like but in Germany, there's the system is more flexible that allows you to switch specialties or hospitals and facilitate personal and professional growth. Um, when I say like switching specialties, what does that mean? This means like, for example, let's say I want to go to like urology, for example. Okay, so but my language skills are not very good, and I need to practice more my language. And if I applied right now for urology, I won't be accepted. I know that. Okay, so what is my plan? My plan is to start the first year as a general surgery, for example. Then after finishing the first year, I will apply for urology as a second year resident. Okay, so this flexibility like you can see anywhere, and as well as you can change the hospitals as well. Like for example, I'm now working in a hospital that is in the peripheries. It's not in the city. It's not a university hospital, but I started working at this hospital because my chances was better for a beginner. But now I know the language very good, and I'm planning to switch for a university hospital, which is the best hospitals to do your residency at, as we all know. So now I'm at the periphery hospital. I have continued, for example, 3 or 6 months. My language is good, everything is fine. So I start applying for university hospitals, and I can switch to that hospital after 3 months. Okay, so this flexibility is very good as well, and will occupy you with a lot of exposure to different cases, to different systems, and all of that. But keep in mind that you cannot switch the hospital if you are doing your residency less than 3 months or 6 months. It depends to be for it to be counted in your residency duration. Okay, so if your residency is 6 years, for example, you're doing orthopedics and your residency is 6 years. Like you have to do at least 6 months in the same institution to be counted out of these 6 years, right? Okay, perfect. So moving to the salary for residents. Now, regarding the residency program, the great thing about Germany that resident salary in Germany is equivalent to the U.S. resident salary. Now, here I'm talking about the residency time. I'm not talking about specialists, okay? Because we all know that specialists in the U.S. are gaining a huge amount of money, but as a resident in the U.S. or Germany, they are taking the same amount of money. So this is a very strong financial start for any medical trainee. Okay, so there as well as many career options after residency that I'm going to be mentioned later on. So there's various pathways available after completing your training, and this is going to be discussed. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to move about to talk more about the details about residency. First of all, I'm going to mention the duration of the residency according to the different specialties. What are the residency positions? What are the approximate salaries for doctors in Germany? And starting with the duration of the residency. So it's almost the same as every country. The duration of medical residency in Germany varies by specialty, of course. So typically ranging from 5 to 6 years for most disciplines like general surgery. Neurosurgery is 7 years. Orthopedic is 6 years. Plastic surgery requires 6 years. While other specialties like internal medicine, urology, pediatric, radiology, or psychiatry might take 5 years. Now, what I would like you to know is that in Germany, there are different pathways that you need to be very cautious when choosing them. Like for example, in the U.S., if you want to be a cardiologist, okay, you have to go through 3 years internal medicine, right? Then you have to do a fellowship in cardiology for 2 years. So in total, it's 5 years, right? So this is the pathway to be a cardiologist, and this is the common pathway. So when you get back to your country, you won't be having any problem to take the board from your country to practice cardiology in your country, for example. But in Germany, this is a you still can do this, like doing internal medicine for a few years and continue the fellowship after. Or what you can do is to do the fellowship at the beginning. Like I want to be a cardiologist. I can start from year one. I can start cardiology, or I can start gastroenterology. But this pathway, I won't prefer it because here in Jordan, if I did so, after finishing the cardiology after 4 years, I won't be recognized here in Jordan. So I won't get the license because my training is not acceptable in Jordan. So you need to make sure if this training approved in your country or not. If it's not approved and you want Germany, this is okay. So you can do the internal medicine at the beginning and then continue the fellowship later on. And of course, you will be recognized in your home country. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so regarding the residency positions, like the whole world, there's a highly competitive specialties, moderate and less. So regarding the highly competitive specialties, we have, of course, dermatology, plastic and aesthetic surgery, radiology, ophthalmology, urology, orthopedics, and neurosurgery. These are sub-surgeries, and of course, they are very competitive, but still your chances are better, I guess, from sometimes from your own home country. Like for me, for example, my chances in Germany is much better for me than my chances in Jordan. What about the moderate competitive specialists like anesthesia, obs gynae, pediatric and general surgery? The less competitive specialties are the family medicine, psychiatry, pathology, forensic, occupational medicine. So it varies. Every year it varies, but still, some specialties will always be highly competitive. Okay, and to overcome this competitivity, what you need to know is to work on your language skills, to work on, like for example, I'm aspiring orthopedics, so I need to first of all work on my language as I just said before, and I need to have a portfolio that show my interest in orthopedics. Okay. All right. What about the approximate salaries of doctors in Germany? Let's start with a resident. You will be called an assistant arzt. Uh, your gross salary will be like around 5,000 euros. Removing the taxes for a single, it's going to be 3,100 euros approximately. Okay. Now, if you are married, this will jump to 3,600 euros. So it's different if you are single or married, and it's also different if you have one child, two child, or 10 child. Okay, so the taxes will be much lower when you are married and having more child. But the great thing about Germany is that these taxes that you are paying are not going for nothing. So your children will be educated for free in the schools. You are going to have a medical care for you and your family for free in the hospitals in Germany. So this is not going for nothing. Okay. Regarding the specialist, the Facharzt, 6,711 in gross, with 3,923 net for singles. Regarding the senior physician, Oberarzt, 8,400 gross. After like netto is going to be 4,700 for singles. And we have the chief arzt with the number that you are seeing right now. Additional note for that, salaries are based on a 40-hour work week. So doctors get 30 vacation days and 10 to 14 public holiday per year. Now, after finishing your first year, you are allowed to do extra shifts. And I know some doctors, like personally, who are making like half or 60 or 70% of their original income just from doing the extra shifts, the night shifts, the weekends, the holidays. They are working on these days, and of course they are additionally compensated for that. Okay. All right. So, what are now the career options after completing our medical residency? Now, after you have finished your medical residency, you have different options. But now, when you have finished everything and started your residency, let's say orthopedics, you have 6 years to do your residency. Now, in this 6 years, the thing in Germany that you are not going to go through any exam. Okay, your residency exam is going to be at the end of your residency. Like after the 6th year, you are going to do a Fachsprachprüfung exam. So after passing it, you are a specialist, and you are European and German boarded. Okay. So after finishing that, and now you are a specialist, what could you do? You can stay in Germany, of course. So specialists can continue working in Germany as a consultant, or you can move to private practice. And if you move to private practice, of course, you will earn more. Possibility of career advancement. So you can become a chief physician, you can become a department head, and you can have more and more experience. And of course, your salary is going to jump more and more. As well as you can work in other German-speaking countries like Switzerland, Austria, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein. So these countries can speak German as well, and they recognize the German board. And what I want to tell you is that all of these four countries, they are paying by three, almost four times the salary that you are going to take in Germany. Like for example, if you are taking in Germany 3,000 euros per month, uh, it's gonna be like 9 or 10,000 in Switzerland. Of course, it might be much expensive than Germany, but still the lifestyle, and you can save a lot of money as well. So this is the second option for you. The third option is coming back to your home country. So doctors can return to their home country after gaining valuable experience in Germany. So you have as well as a higher chances for securing a prestigious position due to the German medical training that you have gained, right? Or you can move to other international destinations. So many specialists relocate to the Gulf region, example UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, where German trained doctors are highly valued. But my advice to you is that if you are planning to move to a Gulf country, to read their requirements. Like for example, in Saudi Arabia, if you have finished from Germany and you're planning to work in Saudi Arabia, you have to go through an exam, the Arab board. You have to do the Arab board or exams specialized for Saudi Arabia. But for UAE, if you want to go directly without practicing any years in Germany, you have to go as well as through the exam. But if you have a 3 years working experience as a chief asked, or 5 years as a specialist, you don't have to go through this exam because of course you are qualified. Right? So just keep that in mind. Read about the requirements in the country that you are planning to move to. So some doctors may explore opportunities in the US depending on the license requirements. Now, regarding these points, I just want to open your minds into something that some of you might not know about it, which is USA has opened its doors recently for doctors who doesn't gone through the medical training residency in the US to work in the US. And this was first started in Tennessee state. So if you haven't gone through the medical residency in the US, but you want to work in the US, so you can go there in Tennessee and do a 2 years observership. All right. And after that, you will be qualified to work in the US. So this is a very good point. Just keep that in mind. Okay. There are so much details about this, but there's no enough time to discuss all of that in here. But just keep that in mind. And beginning of 2025, January, Illinois and Chicago has also opened its doors for doctors who doesn't go through medical residency in the US to practice medicine in the US. But of course, you should have the ECMG certified. You should be. So you should go through the US Milli Step 1 and 2 and pass it. So you are ECMG certified. Then you can think about this step. Keep that in mind, please. Okay, regarding the cost, first of all, the document preparation cost that we have mentioned previously. So you need to extract necessary documents from the university. This is going to cost you like a small fees. The translation, authentication by embassy. This is also an additional cost. I can give you an exact numbers. Please go and check that from your place. Sending documents to the Medical Federation in Germany. Also, this is going to cost you. Now, regarding the visa application and financial requirements, you have two options. And to understand this, I'm just going to go through this very fast. The 16D visa, which is the chance card visa or the job seeking visa. Now, this visa is for 1 year. So you are allowed to enter Germany for 1 year, okay? So it allows doctors to enter Germany for 1 year to search for a job. Now, after applying all your papers and receiving a response from the medical federation in Germany, in the state that you have sent your papers to, okay, now you can have an appointment in the embassy with a paper from their side that your papers or your documents is okay, and this paper shows that you are English or partial English, as I just mentioned before, if you remember. Then, according to that paper, you can apply for this visa, which is 16D. And now, when you apply for this visa, you can go to Germany to stay there, practice your German language, and to apply the FSP exam. So during this year, doctors will receive the Gleich Weiterkeit, which is the equivalence certificate that we have mentioned before. Book and prepare for the FSP exam. Complete the hospital elective training before the exam. It's also possible for you to do a 1, 2, or 3 months elective training in a hospital in Germany before your FSP exam, to practice the medical language more and more, and to have an insight about how things work in Germany. Okay, so the financial requirement for this visa, and this might be an issue for some of us, which is a plugged account in Germany with 12,000 euros for living expenses. Now, these 12,000 euros is yours. It's not like you're not paying this amount for someone. But the thing is that for you to take this visa, you should have a blocked account in Germany with almost an amount of 1,000 euro per month. So this 1,000 euro each month will be free in your account, so you can withdraw it. And this is a locked account. So to gain this visa, you should have this bank statement. Keep that in mind, please. It's also with a 16D visa, you can provide a monthly withdrawal as a financial support, as I just mentioned. Now, this is one way. The second way is that a financial guarantee by a sponsor in Germany. Now, if you have some of your relatives, brother, sister, father, whoever is residing in Germany, he can guarantee you. So instead of a blocked account, a relevant or a friend in Germany can act as a financial guarantor. So they sign a form of sponsorship documents. So you don't need at this point the blocked account requirements. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. And if you have this, you will be getting the visa without any blocked account, and go travel to Germany and do the exams and receive your approbation, the permanent residence. Then after that, start looking for your first job. By this, I have ended my lecture. I hope that all of you have benefit from that. But before that, I have been sent some questions, which are the most frequently asked questions. So let me go through them, and if you have any extra question, I will be gladly here to answer it. So question number one was: is surgery training in Germany structured or not? So you need to know that surgical training follows a framework set by the German Medical Association. So training structure varies by hospital. It's not fixed throughout the country. So it varies between the hospital and varies between the state itself. Like we have 16 states in Germany, so it varies. Each one has its own rule. Okay, so rather than being centralized residency system like what you can see in the US or UK, for example. So it's hands-on experience also depends on something. It depends on the hospital size. If you are talking about university hospital or community hospital at the periphery, of course, university hospital will have bigger spaces, much more number of beds, so you can practice more and more, right? What about the case volume? The same reason. That's why I told you always aim at the university hospital. Always aim at the university hospital. You might not start with the university hospital, but your plan should contain something that I need eventually to move to a university hospital. The chief also physician decision, like your chief at the hospital, some hospitals maybe offer better hands-on training than others. If you are in Germany and your friend is there as well, so your friend might tell you that he had done a specific surgery today, and you don't know that this is possible, for example. This things that you can see in Germany. But what I need to tell you is that you need to aim for big hospitals, very well-known hospitals, university hospitals. With that, you will gain all of these experiences without any problem. And how to get to that? You need to work on your language, and you need to show interest in the specialty that you are planning to apply for, right? So the duration of the training, as I just mentioned before, for general surgery is 6 years. So the keynote for you, the key takeaway for you: choose the hospital carefully. Better language guarantee you a better place. With that being said, I just would like to mention that again. Better language guarantee you a better place. The key for Germany is the German language. Just keep that in mind, please. Okay, the next question was, what are the MD, PhD programs like in Germany? Regarding the MD in Germany, they call it Dr. Med. Research focused here. It's more research focused rather than a structured MD program, and it's very easy for you if you are a high school student and looking forward to do a medical to go to medical school in Germany. It's easy to get if you are speaking German, of course, as there are almost like 15,000 seats each year around Germany. So it's really easy, and it's very cheap than other countries. But to get these options, you need to be able to speak Germany very good. Okay. PhD in medicine available for research-driven students. And these are some of the universities that I have looked out for you, like Heidelberg. Heidelberg is a very well-known institution. There's also in Berlin and in Munich. As well as you can find, there's a lot of scholarships from the Germany government, like DAD scholarship, to guarantee you a scholarship to continue PhD in Germany. So those options for who was interested in academic medicine or medical research, all right? So one of you also asked, is my Georgian medical degree recognized in Germany or not? So being listed in the World Dictionary of Medical Schools, does not automatically guarantee you recognition, okay? As I mentioned before, Germany assesses the foreign degrees case by case. So they look at university by university, country by country, you know? So what you need to ask yourself is the curriculum in my university equivalent to the German standards or not? This is one. Number two, is the clinical training in my university sufficient to let me become equivalent or not? So if your degree is from Georgia, you will likely, this is what I have looked for, you will likely need to pass the Fachsprachprüfung, which is the medical German language exam, and the Kenntnisprüfung, which is the medical knowledge exam. You have to go through these two exams if you are graduated from Georgia. This is the typical thing. But as I told you before, you need to go back and check, is your university one of the universities that should go through the KP exam or not? So some applicants may get partial recognition, but KP is usually from graduated from Georgia is required. So graduated from Georgia almost always need to pass KP to practice in Germany. So this is like a few summary for you who needs the KP exam. No, no KP required. Automatic recognition possible in following cases, which are the European Union, an EU country, and United Kingdom. Sorry, can you hear me? Risha, can you hear me? Hello.
Hi, yes, Doctor, you're audible.
Ah, okay. Because there was a noise. I don't know from where. Anyway, okay. Just to continue the last few slides, who needs the KB exam? As I said before, there's no KB required for EU countries and UK. KP is required for any other countries, almost for any other countries like Georgia, Russia, India, Pakistan, UAE, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Turkey, and most of the non-EU countries. Okay, so if you are from a non-EU country, expect to take the KB unless proven equivalent, as I just mentioned before. Uh, um, this question was, is there a minimum GPA requirement for us? There is no strict GPA requirements for medical licensing in Germany. There's no strict. But of course, if you have a better GPA, it's going to be better. This is like biologic, right? So hospitals in general look at your clinical experience and research, but not in a way like what does US look at it. Like, for example, if I want to be an orthopedic surgeon in the US, I should have at least 55 to 60 published research. Okay, Germany doesn't look at this in this way. Okay, but if you have a clinical experience in the specialty that you are intended to apply for, and the research in that field, this is going to be very good. Okay, German language skills. This is like the most important thing, as I mentioned before. If you have observership and prior work experience, so a strong CV matters more than GPA. More than your GPA, your CV, your work experience matters more. So, what can you add to your CV? The most important thing is to fill any space in the CV with a reasonable explanation. I have mentioned that before, that you shouldn't have breaks in your CV without any explanation, that because of that your documents is going to be refused. So just be attention to that. And how can you fill your CV in things that can empower your CV? By your conference and workshops, like attending the German European medical conferences as much as you can. I'm not saying that you have to have a big budget to watch all of these conferences. Some of these conferences are even online. Okay, so just orient yourself more to the conferences and workshops by German and European medical conferences. Observership and the clinical rotation. If you have the chance to do a direct experience in German hospitals as a medical student, that would be very awesome for you and a great addition to your CV. So regarding the research and publication, of course, clinical research in the specialty that you are interested in is very good. First aid, emergency medicine certification, if you have ATLS, BLS, ACLS, this is also a very good added value, especially if you are planning to go to emergency medicine or if you are planning to go to trauma surgery, orthopedic surgery. So these are very good additions. Medical German C1 level is essential for residency interviews. What I meant here was is that if you had a C1 rather than B2, is going to be much better. And your language in the residency interviews for your first jobs is going to be much and much better. Okay. So a well-rounded CV increases your chance of getting residency. How can you secure an international residency? As I just said before, master the language, gain clinical experience. Networking matters. It's very important to have a network, okay? Because if you have attended the workshops, the conferences, and you have seen German medical doctors from that side, you can expand your network and they might benefit you a lot. So keep that in mind. If you have a research and publication, this is very good. You prepare for the license exams, and this is step, of course, after finishing studying the language. Okay, learning the language and apply smartly. Learn about the hospital preferences, interview techniques, and accordingly apply. So success requires preparation, networking, and persistence. And at the end, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to this. I'm more than happy to answer any concerns that you might have. I have left you this QR code with my LinkedIn account, so we can stay in touch. And if there's in the future, in the near future, if there's anything that I can help you with, I'll be more gladly to do so. And I hope to see you like colleagues in Germany. I hope so. Thank you.
Wow, that was an amazing session. Thank you, Dr. Mazin, for your time, insights, and for making this complex process feel a little less intimidating. I think we all feel a little more confident and maybe a little less stressed as well about the road to Germany now. I am going to leave the floor open and the question box open for a couple of minutes so that if you all have any additional questions, then Dr. Mazin can just address them for you. Uh, okay, doctor, so we have one question, and that is, can we make residency in German as a dentist?
All right. So regarding dentistry, I'm not really aware of the process for dentist students in Germany. But what I can tell you is that it's not easy, as well as like in the other countries in the world. It's not really easy to continue your fellowship in like in dentistry. Um, I'm not the one to answer this question because I'm more into medical field. I'm really sorry, but if I do have any information about dentistry, I'll be more than happy to share it with you later on.
Thank you so much, doctor. So we also have one more question. Approximately how much time will the embassy take to authenticate our certificates, sir?
This is not going to take a lot of time. Like for example, if you have your documents translated, okay, now you can send your documents to the embassy to be authenticated. This is not going to take a lot of time. This is not something to mention, okay.
So the next question is, as a Yemeni citizen studying medical school in Russia, can I apply from Russia directly?
Wait, again, is he a German medical student studying in Russia, right?
No, I think the person is from Yemen, if I'm not wrong. So if I am, please do correct me. So I think the person is from Yemen and he's studying in Russia. So can he just apply from Russia directly?
Yes, yes, of course. I have mentioned that. You can apply from Russia after finishing your medical school, as I just said, and continue your internship years in Russia. So after that, you will be getting a license to practice medicine in Russia, right? After getting that, you are able to apply to Germany from the German embassy in Russia. So you can apply, send your documents to Germany and see how the process works. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, doctor. So, Ahana, to answer your question, I think we could send it to you on the WhatsApp group, or the entire video will be uploaded to on our YouTube channel, for which the link will be sent to you, so you can just refer to it to answer for you to just go back to the entire session.
Yeah, it's going to be recorded for them. So if they have any concern, they can go back to it, right?
Yes, doctor.
Perfect. So I've seen here in the chat someone asking about the lifestyle and ability to get the citizenship. Okay. So regarding the lifestyle, as I have mentioned before, um, I didn't like explain too much about how are you going to live there and all of that. But what I say that what are the working times or working hours that you're having in Germany? And I guess this is very feasible. I have been in the U.S. and I have seen how the residents work over there. They especially for juniors, they didn't go back home, so they're working too much hours per week. If you're working in Germany 40 hours per week, they are working 80, 85 hours per week. And trust me, I've seen that, and I was one of them in the US. So this is, of course, a very good thing for your lifestyle. The salary is the same as the salary that you are going to take if you are a resident in the US. I'm talking here about the residence salary, okay, not something else. What about the ability to get a citizenship? I made this very clear that if you know how to speak German, you have been working in Germany for 3 years. Now the new law is 3 years. It was 5 years before, but the new law, luckily for you guys, it's now 3 years. If you are working in Germany for 3 years, and of course, with that being said, you have been paying your taxes, and you don't have any any problem, and you're like you don't have any problem. You're a normal person, a normal doctor who's practicing in Germany. So after that, you are qualified. After these 3 years, you are qualified to apply to German residency. Okay, citizenship. So this is it. Now, this process might take time, might take efforts from you, but after 3 years, you will be qualified to apply for it for a foreigner citizen. Okay.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So we do have a couple more questions. I'll address it very quickly for you. Are there any preferable resources available to prepare for both exams?
Okay, so regarding the German exams, there are too many Telegram channels and study resources for doctors who have been through this before, for you to go and see it. Now, the one that I have is in Arabic. I'm not pretty sure that you might benefit from it, but I do have like something categorized from doctors who have been traveling from Jordan, and they explain everything in a step by step. And some of them is teaching as well as the FSP exam language. But what I'm pretty sure is that you can find many doctors from the place that you are in right now who have been through this, and you can enter these channels. And very easy research on Google regarding the study material. For example, you can ask, I want a study material for FSP exam, for example, and you will get a lot of results. Okay, and there are so many groups on LinkedIn as well. As you can type on LinkedIn FSP exam, for example. You can see a lot of people who are teaching this exam, the material of this exam, who can provide you with a lot of study resources. And on my LinkedIn profile as well, I might be sharing in the future a lot of tips and study resources on my LinkedIn page, so you can follow and stay tuned for any updates.
Thanks so much, Doctor. Could you please let us know the difference between university hospitals and the community hospital?
Yes, of course. So, university hospital, like it's a hospital that is next to a university. That the medical school students in that university work and study and get their lectures in that university hospital. Now, why university hospitals are special? Is that because it's first of all, the doctors who are working on this in this university hospital, they are the same doctors that are giving the lectures for the medical student, so they are always updated about the new knowledge. They are always dealing with the students, and they know their concerns. And for you as a resident, junior resident, you are a student as well. You need to learn. So they have the learning mentality, not like going to a hospital with no students, and you just as a doctor, you go there and do your work and go back home, you know. So university students doctor are better because they have the teaching mentality. They have a medical students in the medical school that is accompanying to their university hospital, that they have to teach, and they take salary to do so. And the research opportunities is always much better in university hospitals, because this is a teaching hospital again. Now, the community hospitals, these are hospitals that is around the country, and it's of course followed by the medical state of that German state. Okay, but they are not teaching hospitals, so you might get in and not receiving the education that you are expected. But it's not a bad thing to start from that point, and aim always to move to a university hospital. I hope answered your question with that.
Definitely, Doctor. So just one last question before we conclude. How does the cost of living in Germany compare to other countries for medical residents?
All right. So regarding the medical expenses, the expenses in general, sorry, expenses in Germany is much cheaper if you want to compare it to the US. Okay, it's much cheaper. Now, of course, for a beginner in Germany, I don't recommend any of you to go to the to Berlin, for example, to Hamburg or Munich, because these places in Germany are very expensive even for Germans who are living there. Okay, so for you as a beginner, I do recommend you to go to places that is much quiet, and these places are very beautiful. Trust me. Like if you have been to NRV region, Düsseldorf and Munster, Köln, all these places are very nice places, and with a suitable amount for rent, groceries. So it's very handy, especially with the amount of salary that you're taking. So rent over there is going to cost you around, let's say, you're taking a small apartment with one bedroom and one living room and one bathroom, for example. It's going to cost you something around 600-700 euros maximum. This is what I'm talking, okay? Maximum in these places, not in the places like Berlin or Munich or Hamburg, okay? So this is the rent price, and you might spend another like 1,000 euro, whatever, for food, another 500 for vacation, whatever. So eventually you will end up with almost a 1,000 euro savings, for example, let's say. And this is a very variable thing between us. Like I might go in a vacation and spend my whole salary. So this is something varies between us. It depends on your priorities and why are you going there. Are you Do you have like plan to save money? You don't want to save money, you just want to live your life. So this is something varies. But what I want you to know is that with you getting that salary, you are one of the highest 20, let's say, percent of highest income in Germany. Okay, so you are going to live a good life.
Thank you so much. So I know that I said it's just the last question, but we definitely have a very engaging audience. So we do have a couple more questions. So if you could please answer that. So the question is, what is the difficulty level of the KP exam as compared to USMLE or PLAB?
Okay, so the difficulty level between the FSP exam and USMLE or PLAPS is not something to compare. Like FSP exam is the same as an exam that you take at university when you graduated from your university, and in your sixth year, for example, the OSCE station. It's literally the same as this. Nothing to compare between it and USMLE exam. But the difference here is that you are doing this in German language. You are doing this in medical German language. So this is the hard part about it. But if you are mastering your German language very good, you will pass it without any problem or concerns. USMLE, as you all know, is not easy. It's very hard, and you need to be dedicated and spend months and months to pass it. And this goes also for BLAPS.
Okay, so someone is asked, studying MBCHB in Zambia, is it easy to apply for Germany residency, and what main challenges can one face as graduating from African University? I'm so sorry.
Okay, so regarding the first part of your question, studying, could you repeat that? MB what?
Studying MBCHB in
Okay.
Zambia,
Okay.
is it easy to apply for Germany residency, and what main challenges one can face as graduating from an African university?
All right. So for that who is asking this question, it doesn't matter where are you coming from, African University. At the end, you are a foreigner coming to Germany. You are a foreigner medical doctor who's coming to Germany, right? So you're coming from Africa, you're coming from Russia, from India, from Jordan, from UK, from US. So you are going to go through the same steps and the same system. Okay. So you have finished your bachelor of medicine and bachelor of surgery in Africa, in Zambia, or any other African country. So you need to ask yourself, is my curriculum this that you need to ask yourself the same question that I have mentioned before, which are these questions. Okay, you need to ask yourself, Let me show you what is it. Yeah, you need to ask this question: is the curriculum equivalent to the German standard that I taught in my university? Is the clinical training sufficient or not? And that would be very good if you can ask another graduates from your university who have been in Germany, continue their like medical residency in Germany. That would be amazing. So they can guide you very much in this trip, and tell you that you have to go through FSP exam or KB exam or not. You might, for example, you don't have to do the KB exam. You can do only the FSP exam. So to know that for sure, you need to ask other graduates from your university who have been through this before. If you don't have any other graduates, you can search this online. You can open the website about for the German medical German state federation, and and read more and more about it. And of course, they do have all the information regarding your questions.
Uh, and somebody's asked you how can they contact you aside from LinkedIn?
Um, I just shared my LinkedIn account because this is the place that I share all of like anything that's related to professional in a professional level. But I'm more than happy to receive any messages on LinkedIn if they can send me a message, because I can't share here my Instagram or my number or any of that. So I hope you can understand that, please. But I'm more than happy to receive your message on LinkedIn, and I will respond fast.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Doctor. So I think now that's a wrap. A huge thank you to you, Dr. Mazin, for being with us today and sharing your invaluable knowledge. And of course, thank you, the entire audience, for being so interactive and engaging. It's always amazing to have such a motivated group of future doctors in one place. Also, a huge shout out to Tina Shah, who is our project head, and thank you for organizing this session, and to the entire Prasha team for working so hard for this event to come into light. So, if you have missed any part of today's session, or if you just wish to revisit it, the recording will be available soon on our YouTube channels. Also, stay tuned for the updates on our next session in our Navigating Residency webinar series. So with that, we're signing off. Good luck on your residency journey. Wherever you end up, I know I'm pretty sure that you're going to do amazing things. With bye everyone.
Thank you.